Now back home on Dalal Street, the market started the week on a bare footing and we did end lower for the 7th straight session. The Nifty and the Sensex, well, they lost close to under % each, with the Nifty falling below the 10,700 mark and the Sensex ending below the 36,000 mark. The Nifty Bank too ended almost a % lower. HDFC Bank and ICICI Bank contributed close to around 65% of the fall. The mid-caps as well ended the day with a cut of around 0.5% to around 1% odd in yesterday's trading session. Anisha, tell us, 7th straight session, we are losing out. We had a good run from around that 10,600 mark all the way to around 11,100. We've given almost everything back.
Oh, well, yes, and it looks like that we are starkly underperforming the global cues. So yesterday itself, the Asian pairs were up anywhere between 1.5–2%, but we were underperforming. In fact, if you look year to date, the Indian markets are down anywhere between 3 to 4% versus the other emerging markets, which have gained around 7%. So yes, the Nifty ended below the crucial level of 100-day moving average. It's now below the 20, 50, 100 as well as 200-day moving average. And even the mid caps, that is where a lot of pressure still is there, because yesterday itself we saw a cut of around 0.5% when it comes to the mid-cap space as well. The advanced decline ratio favouring the declines yesterday. Now, that is why in today's trade, the important levels to watch out on Nifty include yesterday's low of around 10,628. The technical experts as well as analysts believe that 10,550 and 10,600 are crucial support levels. And if we go below that, the marks around 10,300 is also something that maybe we can see. As far as the resistance goes on the upside, watch out for the level of around 10,700 as well as 750 when it comes to the Nifty. Now, as far as the action in the cash equity market is concerned, we saw the volumes were higher yesterday. Of course, there was some bulk data and bulk deals as well and block deals as well that impacted the volumes. But overall, the FIIs net sold around 1,240 crores. Remember, this is the 6th or 7th consecutive session where FIIs have been selling in the cash equity markets, and a 4-digit number of around 12,440 crores coming in for the FIIs, while the DIIs, they were the ones who pumped in money and pumped in big time as around 2,330 crores. As far as the cues for today are concerned, the US market is shut as we have been pointing out. However, for today, we'll get the FOMC minutes, and that is something the street is watching out for. Separately, as we were talking about, there is some trade tussle again between US and China, with China accusing US of fueling the cyber security fears. So that is the reason why Asia this morning is also a bit tepid. So no major cues coming in from US as well as Asia. SGX 50 for starters was suggesting an uptick of around 15 to 20 points, because even if you look at the European markets, not much coming out. The only positive, and that has happened in the last few minutes, is crude, because that has retraced around 0.5% and is back at $66. So we'll watch out for that in trade. And of course, the big news for the Indian markets, the RBI announcing the interim dividend of 28,000 odd crores.
Absolutely. All right, Anisha, thanks so much for that. But what about some stocks that we can focus on today?
Well, you will focus on Ambuja Cements for sure, and the numbers are below estimates you were telling us. So I'll leave it to you to tell us more about that, because it looks like the sales volume has missed the street estimates. Moving on to Grasim there, wherein they're buying one of the plants of KPR Industries, and they're buying it for 253 crores. So not a very big acquisition for Grasim, but keep an eye out on the on KPR Industries. Imami says that the promoters have sold around 10% stake in the company and raised around 1,600 crore rupees. And these are a lot of mutual funds and investors which have picked up this stake. So keep an eye out on Imami today. Cipla, couple of news points. First up, they have bought around 12% stake in one of the companies, a small acquisition for just 10 crores. And separately, they've got some order from the South African government. Now, the contract value is not known, but this is for a period of 3–4 years, so should accrete some revenue to the company. Infosys is in focus, because remember, this is not fresh news, but they have paid around 34 lakh as settlement of the compensation case that was going on. The amount is out now, because we know that the arbitration and the proceedings have been going on in this case. Moving on to Future Consumers, wherein they have entered into an agreement with a supermarket chain in Middle East, so that's been focused. Dishman Carbogen might see a sentiment downtick, because the founder, who's the MD of the company, has decided to step down. And the global MD Arpit Vyas is taking over the duties. So that is something to watch out for. Hotel Leela, there's an interstate transfer there, wherein one of the arms of the promoter, which is Rockford Estate, is looking to buy around 1.06% stake in the company. So that is something to watch out for. We have been tracking what's happening with JP Infratech, and fresh source-based information tells us that NBCC has submitted a higher bid versus Suraksha, which was putting in the money. So that's one news to track when it comes to NBCC and JP Infratech. Indian Bank, they are looking to raise 7,000 crores. Jet Airways continues to be news. They say that they'll sell the jet privilege business as and when at an appropriate time. So that is something you keep an eye out on. L&T, they have clarified on the news that came yesterday regarding Cognizant bribery case, saying that we are not aware of all these allegations. Mindtree, well, that process regarding IT department attaching their, some of the shares continues right now. They have provisionally withdrawn it. Let's see how the story develops. Gokuldas Export has entered into an MOU with the Karnataka government. Page Industries could be in focus today because they said that due to the Ind AS impact, they have not accounted for revenues worth around 35-40 crores. So they'll do that in Q4. So we'll watch out for that.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks so much for that, Anisha. Well, make sure you watch out for the biggest event of the year, the News 18 Rising India Summit, to be held in New Delhi on February 25th and 26th. Now, this is one platform where you can catch all the biggest newsmakers of the country, from Prime Minister Narendra Modi, BJP President Amit Shah, to opposition chief ministers Kamalnath and Bhupesh Baghel. Along with a host of union ministers will be Isha Foundation founder Sadhguru, Bollywood and sports icons like Deepika Padukone, as well as former coach of Indian cricket team Anil Kumble. That's the News 18 Rising India Summit in New Delhi on Feb 25th and 26th.